Hello you guys. In today's video we're going to talk about my October and November 2022 trip to Walt Disney World. This is like very much long overdue. First of all, if you're new to my channel, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Lauren. I am a mom of three. I have a 1-year-old daughter, Lucia. I am helping raise my stepdaughter, Jules, who's 16, and I also had a daughter who unfortunately passed away from leukemia in 2020. If you enjoyed today's video, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button, give this a like, and it really helps to support the channel. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So I made notes because this was now, I don't know, almost, I don't think it was 6 months ago. Maybe 4 months ago. So I did take a lot of notes after our trip, but you know. So our trip was from Friday, October 28th to Friday, November 4th. So originally we booked like a Friday to Friday stay, but because we have to book the Disney reservations so far in advance, I always wait. I don't, I wait till the last minute to buy flights. So it got to be about like 60 days out, I think. And I was getting nervous because I checked Flight Hopper and they said that um, the flight prices were not likely to go down or whatever. So I just booked whatever I can. It was cheaper to go on a Thursday. So I talked to my parents who were also on the trip and they agreed like, okay, yeah, we'll come down and meet you the day before, and then we'll just we could split a hotel room the first night, and then we'll each go into separate hotel rooms going forward. So for the first night that we were there, I ended up booking the Little Mermaid rooms in the Art of Animation. That's always been on my bucket list. I always wanted to stay there. I just loved the theming and I just thought it was adorable. We knew it was going to be tight with me, my husband, the baby, and my parents. But it was only for one night. So I'm like, okay, let's just do it. So actually, before we even got there, they ended up upgrading us to the Lion King suites, which was super amazing. But unfortunately, we were only staying there one night. But it was very comfortable because honestly, I think my plane got in at like close to midnight. And by the time we got off the plane, got our luggage, my parents drove, so they were able to pick us up from the airport. By the time we got to the resort, it was almost 1 o'clock in the morning, I think. So it was kind of nice because they had like a separate bedroom that we gave my parents to sleep in. And then we had we had like the pull down Murphy bed, and then we had another bed, which I'm not sure if that is off the top of my head, if that is a queen or a full size bed. So at that time, just to make life easier, I slept with the baby in the pull down Murphy bed, and then I let my husband sleep in the other bed just so there was more space and we could get a good night's sleep after a long day of travel. So the next morning, we drove to the Contemporary. We got reservations at Chef Mickey's. I've never been there before. That was our first character dining experience there, and basically it was family style. It was a family style meal, and it was super cute. The food was really good, just really great, and the characters were great. They came to the table. So afterward, my sister Whitney, she ended up flying in with her husband and her 3 girls, and they live in Wisconsin, so we never get to see them, maybe like once or twice a year if we're lucky. So it was super awesome. So we ended up meeting them. They flew in then that day, so they went right to Hollywood Studios. They had a rental car, and then we met up with them at Hollywood Studios. Now, originally, in the past, on our previous trips, Hollywood Studios, we only like booked usually one day for. Now, this is our first time since before COVID of actually traveling there. So since now with Hollywood Studios, they've opened up the Star Wars land, which wasn't there on our previous trips, and also the Toy Story land. So anyway, Hollywood Studios is now I think it's, you know, like definitely a 2 day for us, definitely hands down, because there's just so much to do. So you know, we ended up actually going to get drinks at August Katina. We've never been there obviously before, and that was super cool experience. They have a little robot DJing, and it's, you know, still kid friendly. They're very welcoming even though it's a bar, and I think they do serve some small snacks. We didn't get snacks there. But they had non-alcoholic kind of like specialty drinks for the kiddos. So it was kind of cool. They set us like at a big long bar table, and you know, my nieces were able to get different drinks, and you know, we didn't give Lucia anything, but you know, we had just some crazy drinks. My brother-in-law Joshua, he had some drink. I'm gonna have to remember because I'm forgetting it now. It's supposed to make like your mouth numb or something, or I don't know. He had me try a sip. I didn't notice, but oh, also let me backtrack a little bit. So like I said, the first night we were at the Lion King suite in Little Mermaid room. So we were only booking that for one night. After that, the rest of the trip, we were staying at All Star Movies Resort. It's more of a budget friendly trip. We've never been there either. So that was actually really cool also to do another bucket list hotel. Because of the amount of days we were staying there, like a full week, it definitely was more price conscious for our family. You know, we're a big group. My sister has 3 kids that now all have to get park tickets. So it just kind of made sense for all of us to stay there. So on our second park day, this is technically day 3 at Disney, we went to Animal Kingdom. We only do usually one day at Animal Kingdom. It's my least favorite park. Not that I hate everything. There are some rides like I really enjoy at Animal Kingdom, and I know there's the whole Pandora land, but I don't know. It's just, I don't hate it. It's just my least favorite of all of the 4 parks. So you know, we went there. We got there early. We rope dropped. We hit up a few rides, and then I don't know if we ended up leaving at like 1ish. I remember our intention was to leave, give the girls a break from the heat, let them swim in the pool a little bit, and then we're gonna come back. My dad really wanted to ride the Pandora ride. He was like really looking forward to that. That's his favorite thing. He wanted to do it with Jose because when Jose came the last trip, they didn't have this land open yet. So we ended up going back to the hotel. We drove back. We went swimming for a little bit. I went to the gift shop. I bought Lucia like the cutest bath toys Disney sells. They're like jumbo figurines. They have like a Moana set. They have a Star Wars set. They have Princess set. They have a bunch of different ones. So I ended up getting her the Moana set. So I brought them like from the gift shop right at the hotel, and then we went into the little baby section. That was super cute. I think after that, everyone kind of like took a nap and fizzled out. We decided not to return back to Animal Kingdom. My dad was like, you know, what the heck? I was looking forward to that ride. That's my favorite. We ended up all going to Disney Springs. So this is the first time that we had been to Disney Springs. So we just kind of walked around, and I think we got like some margaritas or something by the water. They were pretty good. I think they were pricey from what I remember, like everything else at Disney. And I think we also stopped at the Earl of Sandwiches. We got some sandwiches for dinner. And then we just went back to the hotel, and that was our Animal Kingdom day. We were only there for like a half day, which is crazy. That was not intentional. And, you know, I think normally we would be there the whole day, but yeah. So the next day, we had I think an 11 o'clock reservation at Raglan Road in Disney Springs. So we went back to Disney Springs. Again, I had never been there. It's like the Irish pub. Very cool because, you know, if you've been following some of my videos on my channel, my first daughter, Scarlett, used to Irish dance. But growing up, you know, we are always, that's, you could tell from my skin, very Irish, right? So our family likes going to Irish pubs and all that. So we got to Raglan Road, and I remember having to wait a while for the table. I don't know, maybe at least 15, 20 minutes. We were there, you know, on time, but we just walked around. They have like a cute little gift shop inside. And then once we were there, you know, we were a big party table, and you know, they had some dancers come on stage. They had a live band performing, which was cool. Again, very kid friendly. They had kids menu, kids things to do. Lucia did find at that time sitting in in the high chair that they had, and yeah, very good food. They had like a scotch, or I think it was a scotch tasting that my dad did when he was there. And I think I got beer, and Jose, if I remember right, I think that he got like a Jameson and ginger ale. He might have had a mimosa before that though. um anyway, so that was our morning. And after that, we went back to the hotel and changed, because that was let's see, October 30th is when we went on a Sunday to back to Magic Kingdom for, well, back first time to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. So this was our first time experiencing that. I guess this is also the first time since COVID that they're reopening it up, because last year the party was a lot, I think, smaller, and the events were smaller. But we got lucky. There was no rain. Unfortunately, something I haven't discussed, up backtrack, leading up to my trip, we had a horrible stomach bug. I don't know if we had norovirus or what, but we ended up not unknowingly passing this bug onto like everyone in my family, even though we weren't, I don't, you know, we didn't thought we were contagious or whatever. So anyway, the cool thing about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, you're allowed to get into the park early. So we didn't have to book, actually, we didn't have to book like a normal park ticket that day. We did have to pay. I don't know, off the top of my head, I can't remember if it was like 120 or 150 per person to attend this event, but I don't know, you have to make the decision for yourself. But in my eyes, I thought it was worth it, because you did, like, once the normal day crowd leaves, because I think they had to leave the park by 7 if I'm not mistaken, we were allowed early entry to the park at 4 o'clock. So, you know, as the night kind of went down, you were able to gain like access to certain rides. You didn't have to wait in line like more than, I don't know, 20 minutes. In some instances, you know, barely anything. You had to do to wait in line. The parades were awesome. One of the best parts about the trick-or-treating, adults can trick-or-treat for this event along with the kids. They give you your own goodie bag, and we also brought like a separate pillowcase for each of the girls. My mom embroidered their names on them with like little Mickey print, and I'll try to like insert the picture. Very cute. So basically, from the moment you walk in through at 4 o'clock or whatever, you walk through a special line, and they give you like a full-size candy bar to start off with, which was awesome. And then the rest of the time, it's just like the regular miniature Snicker bars. I think Milky Way, there was Skittles, maybe Starburst. Don't quote me on that. I feel like there was though. But at the end of the night, it's crazy. They had like the cast members handing out throughout the night at all these different stations all over the park. The candy was kept in these big like janitor garbage can looking contraptions. So by the end of the night, they had to get rid of all of it. So they were giving us like ungodly amounts of candy. And on top of that, like, while I think Cecily, my niece, if I'm not mistaken, my mom and Jose all went to do Splash Mountain. While they were doing that, my dad and I stood with the baby. We were like, okay, while we're waiting, we'll hit up another trick or treating area, whatever. So, because we were getting there now, it was well close to, I think it was midnight. They not only were filling our bag, they were also handing us extra bags to take. So our whole, like, thank God we have my Vista stroller that has like a massive carrier section underneath the stroller, because we were able to put everyone's candy. And I'm telling you, it had to have been like, I don't know, like a good 40 pounds. It was definitely like 40-50 pounds. It was a lot. That was just really cool. I'm honestly, it took till about maybe a month ago for our family to go through all this candy. And that is, anytime someone would come over, I would give them like a sandwich bag to go, like, we really had so much candy. We brought like a small bag back with us on the plane, but then we ended up seeing my parents for Thanksgiving, and then they sent us with the rest of us because we drove down to North Carolina, so they were able to give us like even more candy. But yeah, so that was the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. I would definitely do it again, 100%. I don't think it's gonna happen this year, but never say never. If my husband's watching, he's gonna be like, no, no more. Um, yeah, I would love to go back again, and maybe next year. Like I said, I don't think this year is gonna happen for the Halloween party, but it would be kind of like nice to go, since they do start this, I think at the end of August. Maybe to go to for Lucia's birthday, maybe right before she turns 3, so we could still get in, like get her in. But yeah, I think that would be super fun, and maybe something to do for her 3rd birthday. So then the next day, which was Park Day 4, um, technically Disney Property Day 5, we went to Epcot, which is always me and Jose's favorite park. We rope dropped. We got our Fromage Montage card. We started that off, and I think we got like 3 stamps. Basically, they have certain booths around Epcot that you can, I guess that they're like cheese inspired throughout all the countries. And there, there's like a fried cheese. There's like, I don't remember if there was a macaroni and cheese. There was a bunch, but and it was kind of cool because you got to try different foods that maybe you never would even have ever heard of. There was one, I think, from like India, if I'm not mistaken, that Jose wasn't fond of. I think it's because of the curry, but that was pretty cool. And then we ended the night watching the Harmony. We ended up watching the Harmonious fireworks at the end of the night, and that, of course, made me cry because anytime I hear Coco, I always think of Scarlet. So, we were watching the fireworks, and it was really nice. And that was it for Epcot that day. So day 6. Park Day 5, we went back to Hollywood Studios. We went back to Ogas again. We rope actually backtrack. We rope dropped. We managed to get on Slinky Dog. I think it was Cecily, if I'm not mistaken. It was Cecily and my mom, and then it was me and Jose in another in the other seat or whatever. That was my first time, and I loved it. I wish we could have got like another Fast Pass or Genie Plus or whatever to go, but the lines were way too long, so we were lucky we rope dropped because we were not able to gain access. Like, all of the Genie Plus were gone. You couldn't even get it. I stepped out of my comfort zone, so that was number 1, because that's a roller coaster. I'm not, up until recently, I'm not a roller coaster person. Space Mountain growing up, whenever we went on that, I was never brave enough to even like lift my head to like experience it all. Like I always would, like I think my first experience, my dad took me on Space Mountain. I had my head on my lap and I screamed the whole time. So we are growing up. um, we tried to do rides outside of my comfort zone this time, so we did that. That was awesome. I actually really liked it, and I really would love to do it again in the future. Jose got me to go on Rock and Roller Coaster. You don't even understand how petrified I was, but I'm like, okay, fine, we'll do that. So we went, and while we're waiting in line for Rock and Roller Coaster, you know, I'm nervous as it is already because it's something I've never been on. It seems like scary, whatever. But I'm like, okay, I'm like hyping myself up. We're gonna do this. So we get to the front where you could start to see like the car, you know, the cars coming with like the chest constraints or whatever, restraints. Um, I kind of look at my husband. I'm like, does this go upside down? And he's like, no, I don't think so. I'm like, okay, that's weird because I wonder why did they have that then, whatever. But I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, again, I'm still nervous, whatever. We get in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? So, you know, like it like propels you, with all this jet force, and so I'm already like screaming. I think I lost my voice on this. Yeah, it did go upside down, and I'm screaming for Fanny's. I'm like, Jose, I'm gonna kill you, whatever. And, it like I was so scared, but at the end of it, I'm like, actually, that was pretty fun. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think we ended up riding it a second time actually, because he really liked that one. So it wasn't bad. I'll do it again in the future. It's just that initial like first ride jitters that, you know, you have to get through. But I actually really liked that one. Then we went to Tower of Terror. I've never done that one either before. That one also was fun. I think we also did that one twice. That one, like, definitely I would never be able to be brave enough to like hold my phone or whatever. Like I had to pretty much hold the my husband like the whole time because I'm like, ah. But that one also was super fun. It was so cool to see the inside of the hotel because I never even got to see, since, you know, no one in our party had ever went on that before. But that one definitely is a cool ride. We'll definitely do that next trip again. So right before close, um, my phone died. Jose had like 5% battery. And, you know, of course, like everyone in our party is like dispersed all over the place. I think we had my mom or something, and she had the baby or something. And, um, so we're like, okay, we're gonna try to meet up with you. Jose has 5% battery. He's gonna turn off his phone, and then we'll try to meet up with you, and, you know, we'll try to figure out some ride. Like at this point, we couldn't find my dad or Joshua. I don't know where we thought they were at the time. So previous to that, we were trying to get on Rise of the Resistance, but the ride, first of all, you know, you have to like the you know the line is like 2 hours usually to wait. Luckily for us, it was right before close, and about like 30 minutes to an hour maybe before that, the ride was down. There was like a group of like people standing in front of that ride, but like they didn't know when they were going to be like opening up the ride, or if it would even be up tonight. So there was a small crowd, so, you know, we had walked past. We're like, okay, whatever. So then we circled back around, and this time we noticed the crowd was gone. So I was like, oh, it's probably closed already. Jose's like, let's just go up and check and we'll see. Well, luckily it was up and running, so we were able to like, we're like, yeah, let's go do this ride real quick. So when we're up in line, we ended up seeing my dad and Joshua there with I think Cecily again. I'm trying to think. I'm like, yeah. Um, so that ride, I have to tell you, was the most, that was so cool. Just, you know, I don't want to give any spoiler alerts if you have not went on it, but you basically are like on and off different rides. It's not just like a get on the ride and go and then it's done. Like it's a long duration that you're there. And it was kind of cool for part of it. Um, we, my niece had to go to the bathroom, of course, like you know, of all times, she had to pick the most convenient time. So they pulled our whole group to the side. They allowed her to go to the bathroom, and then they brought us back in, and we had like the stormtroopers there. Or actually, I don't think it was the stormtroopers. And Joshua, if you're watching this, he's gonna get so mad at me because I don't know like the police guys' names or whatever. I'm sure there's, I don't know. There's probably a name for these people. Anyway, it was cool. It was cool that they like, it was like you were part of like like it was real, you know. It was really cool. So anyway, we ended up, thank God we like met up with them, and then we ended up, I think my dad was able to get a hold of my mom, was like, okay, we'll just meet you at the front of the park. So that was the end of that day. Then day 7, Disney Park day, day 6, we went back to Epcot. I was like speed walking because first of all, you know, that's just like our favorite park. Never done Remy's before, so we actually got there in time to rope drop for once. I was like booking it, and Jose's like, what is, you know, I'm like, no, we have to get there, whatever. So I'm like speed walking over. You know, my mom and my dad were kind of like slowly walking behind, but me, I'm like gunning it with the stroller. I'm like, we are gonna get there. So we get to Remy's, which is all the way in France Pavilion, which you basically, I think it was like a horse apiece, as my mom would say. We had to walk, like normally when we start off in Epcot, we always are left people. We always start off at Mexico first. And this time we started off in Canada, but we bypassed everything at this point just so we could go to France and get on Remy's. So we waited about 20 minutes, and that was with rope dropping, which wasn't, you know, wasn't bad. That one also very cool. We could bring Lucia on, who at the time was only 1 year old. You know, she was, I think, 13 months. So on that one, we could bring her on. And then you're in these little like rat cars, and it's really interactive. Again, I don't want to give like any spoiler alerts away, but there's different things where think you could like smell and like feel different things, but it was actually really cool. I really liked it. They give you the 3D glasses for that, so that was really fun. After that ride, we hightailed, booked it all the way back to the beginning again. We got to Norway, and we ended up rope dropping. We were still made it, I guess it wasn't really rope drop at this time, but you know, we got there to Norway for the Frozen ride. So again, we waited 20 minutes, and we brought the baby on, no problem. We were able to lap her. There is a small drop, but you know, Jose was holding her, and you know, it was fine. After that, I think we got some Kringles, if I'm not mistaken. Right there in Norway, my parents wanted to get that, and then I think I ended up they got like a Kringle or something. I got some kind of like apple pie looking thing. I'm like, yeah, because that's what you need for breakfast, like right before you're gonna start drinking. Because there was like limited things open. I think the only thing open during rope drop or early entry is maybe like, well, beside like the coffee place. I think like in France you could get like some baguettes or something, but anyway, so we didn't get any breakfast until basically we were back in Norway. So we had you know, some like pastries or danishes, whatever you want to call it. And then I think we split up at that point. My parents went, I don't remember if they went to like a gift shop to do some shopping. So me and Jose wanted to get the Mimosa Flight. So the Mimosa Flight was toward the beginning of the park. Again, backtracking, not quite toward going back to Canada. I think if it was like in between. I think it was in between. They had a Mimosa Flight. So we did that. The baby was taking a nap, and at this time, yeah, she fell asleep real early. I want to say it was like 9 or 10, because after that we ended up rope dropping the margarita stand in Epcot. I don't remember if they opened at 10 or 11, but I remember like we were joking with the other people online, like, okay, we're rope dropping the margarita stand. So this is one of our favorite things to do in Epcot. Jose loves well, we love margaritas anyway, but they have different flavors. You could get them like with the special tahini like seasoning. You like there's totally like different like rim like salt. What am I trying to say? Flavored salt that you could get or not get. You could get a frozen, blended. You could get like the top shelf, whatever, and you know, whatever. There's tons of different flavors. We love it. So we did that. I think we ended up going to Germany. My dad wanted to get a special beer from there. Now, in Epcot, I don't remember this from last time, but if you want to know, so beside like the beer outside in you know, when you get to the Germany pavilion, they have, you know, the beer, you can wait in line for the beer outside, whatever. I wasn't like feeling like all the beers that they actually had there because I had most of them, so I want to try something different. So my dad said, oh, in the gift shop there's coolers right next to the register, so they have like, you know, like the special other kind of beers from Germany that you could get actually like a bottle right there. And I, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they let you take the bottle. I think that they open it and then poured it into a cup. I don't think they allowed the glass there. So we did that. Then we went to France and we did some champagne tasting. Um, that was pretty nice. So my mom actually got to try some things. Like I wanted to treat her, so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get this here, you have some of this, like try all of them, and then I'm gonna give you the ones she likes more, a little bit more sweet than I did. So I gave her like the sweeter ones, and then I just drank the dry ones. I want to say that champagne flight was $35 maybe. I'll have to go back and look through my pictures. I'm sure I took a picture and then I can insert it in here. And oh, we completed the fromage montage. So basically at the end we got to pick up a little souvenir. It was actually, I was kind of disappointed because I thought it was going to be like a regular glass. It was a plastic glass, which by the way never made it home with us. I don't know what happened to this. It probably got thrown out. But it was like a little, it looked like a, what do you call it, the stemless wine glass, but it was plastic, and it had the little ratatouille on it with the little logo from the 2022 Food and Wine Festival. And then on the inside it was like strawberry cheesecake ice cream, whatever. So after that, great time to eat ice cream. So this, it was like, oh my gosh, like by this time it was like 6 o'clock at night. We had a virtual queue for the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. We were, first of all, we couldn't even get in virtual queue in the morning. They ended up opening another virtual queue at 1 o'clock. It was 6 hours because I think by 7 they finally called me and Jose. Again, very nervous. This ride was so cool. I would love to do it again. I think this was Jose's favorite. I think this was his favorite roller coaster of all of them. You know, top notch, new. It was crazy because you're going, like, you know, again, I'm not a roller coaster people, so I'm a person, so I'm sure people are watching this video going, wow, this girl, like, whatever. I don't care. But again, stepping out of my comfort zone. I never went on the ride, never knew what it was about. Awesome. Like, it's like you're in normal roller coasters, you're just like straight, whatever. This one, your seat like actually swiveled. Like, remember you moving sideways on the roller coaster and then front ways, and yeah, just it was really cool. Some people get sick. I did not get sick, and I was very worried about it considering I had just eaten that strawberry cheesecake ice cream. I didn't even want to finish that because I knew we had to go on that ride. So you know, I think I ended up only eating half of it before we went on the ride. But actually, I didn't get sick, and it was fun, and I survived, and I will like to do that again too. Which brings us to, I think this is the last day, well, close to last day. Day 7, Magic Kingdom, we went back. Now this day we did, again, rope drop. So when we entered the park, actually, we tried to rope drop. We got there like not as early as we probably should have. Next trip, I'm gonna make sure everyone leaves the house. Not everyone is morning people, so we don't. Even though I'm usually up at like 5 in the morning, 5:30, showered, makeup on. I'm down at the cafe, like getting my coffee with a refillable mug, meeting my mom. Jose usually is still sleeping. I have to wake him up. Yeah. This point, my dad got the stomach bug that everyone had on this trip except for me, Jose, my mom, and I think Cecily might have ended up getting it eventually. I can't remember, but unfortunately, before we went on this trip, we had a stomach bug that me, Jose, and Lucia had. Now, we had it the weekend before we left, so I just assumed we were better. We weren't contagious anymore, but clearly not, because we managed to bring this stomach bug to my whole family, and I feel really bad about that because they missed a lot of the trip. So I have to find a way to make it up to them at some other point with another trip. Anyway, we let's see. Okay, so we went to so we rope dropped. We didn't get there early because I think honestly by the time we got there, even though it was still early entry, I think the line was already like 60 minutes for mine train, which I was so sad about because I never, we didn't ride that at the Mickey's Not So Scary, and I don't remember why, like, because I imagine like we probably could have. I don't know if at one point the line was long and then we just decided, I don't know, whatever. So didn't get to ride that this trip. Next trip, definitely making that a priority. So we ended up doing Space Mountain. Me and Jose did that while my mom and took the baby with Lucia to do Dumbo. They rode Dumbo. Then afterward, we rode Barnstormer. I think I rode it once or twice with Jose, and then I'm like, I'm going to take my mom because she's, this is like, I feel like she's not into roller coasters at all either, but she had never been on it. I'm like, Mom, it's not that bad. So I brought her. Yeah, we had fun. So we did that together. And then we ended up going to Harmony Barbershop for Lucia's first haircut. So that was something we did with Scarlett back when we brought her for her first haircut. Unfortunately, because she's only a year old, she had like basically no hair to cut. So we did get some wisps, but it's very cute. I'll have to insert a picture. But basically, I want to say, geez, was it $25? It might have been $35. Whatever, it was around that range. But not only you get your hair cut, they give you a certificate. After they cut their hair, they like pixie dust them with like a larger glitter than they normally pixie dust. It's like the big chunkier glitter. Pixie dust! She got pixie dusted! Yay! And they give you like a little keepsake bag with the little locks of hair that they've cut, and then with some glitter inside that too. And they give you a little pair of mouse ears with the chin strap, and then on the back it's embroidered. It says, my first haircut. Very cute. Definitely recommend if your child has never gotten their hair cut before. It's a great first experience, and how awesome is it, to be able to say like, hey, she got her first haircut at Disney. So anyway, right after that, or actually meanwhile, while we're doing that, we ended up, my 3 nieces, they had appointments at Bippity Boppity Boutique. First time they've ever done this. Lucia wasn't obviously old enough to do it. I think you'll have to be 3. Obviously, like, it's a more bougie experience. They do your hair, they pick your dress, and it's like the whole shazam. The girls had a blast. They looked so pretty. It's very pricey, but I think it's awesome. It's like a once in a lifetime thing, when your kids are that age, and I just bet they felt like so magical, and just, it's just such a great moment. So their appointment was running like a lot longer, and I think they had to wait a while. So unfortunately, we had brunch reservations. I don't remember if it was like at 11 or 12, but it was at the Polynesian for Ohana. So obviously we ended up finishing our haircut. And if you're familiar with Magic Kingdom at all, the Harmony Barbershop is pretty much when you walk in. We didn't have that far to walk, so all we did was we walked back to the monorail, and then we went and got off at the Polynesian. So we were waiting for the girls to get done with their appointments. So we went to this little lounge. It's called Tambu Lounge, right there, like in the Polynesian. So we each had like a fancy drink. My mom got like a bougie coffee, and I don't remember if I had a margarita. I'm trying to remember. No, I think I had um shoot, I don't even remember at this time, but the bartender was super nice. You know, all my daughter, I guess because it was so hot and because of her age, it was kind of like hard to keep her entertained like this whole week. So we were always looking for limes because she actually loves limes. So the bartender actually like gave us like a whole cup of them like that. You know, they didn't even need to do that, but it was so nice. She's like, "Here, just take some." And like she was just very very cool. So we had a drink over there while we were waiting. Thank God they held the reservation for us because you know it would have been a no show. We were pretty much the last people seated for the end of brunch before they closed down for dinner. So that was so cute. You got to see Lilo, Stitch, and Mickey. I'm trying to think if Pluto. I'm trying to think what are the other characters that were there, but they were in their, you know, more like Hawaiian style getup. So that was very cute. Again, Mickey. Actually, no, we didn't have Mickey waffles at that time. I think they were Stitch. They were Stitch waffles, I think. Um, but yeah, very very cool family oriented breakfast. Everything was really delicious. That was great. Then we went back to the park, and um I guess the highlight of Magic Kingdom that day was my sister ended up getting pixie dusted while we were walking up to get in line for um Pirates of the Caribbean. So that was cool. We all, like our whole party, except for my dad, unfortunately, everyone was finally back together, and we were able to do the Pirates ride. So that was cool. We didn't have to wait in line at all. Um, Worst part of the trip, probably, you probably, well, besides everyone getting sick. So in Magic Kingdom, we had like all the intention of doing the People Mover, and we were gonna ride that. So it was the last ride of the night. Jose, well, we could have stayed longer, but you know, it's kind of hard to stay out like for all hours when you have you know 1 year old. So Joshua and Jose did um, Space Mountain, and while they went on that, I ended up doing People Mover with my mom, the girls, and Whitney. Well, we get on the ride and it like breaks down. Like we were waiting for like, I don't know, 15 minutes, and Lucia was like at the end of her rope. Like she just was about to have a meltdown any minute, and thank God the ride eventually started moving right before she was ready to jump off the ride because there was nowhere to go, you know. So now, not only did that suck, so by the time we got off, they tried to give us like an express pass or like a Genie Plus pass, like an extra one because we had the inconvenience. But we never ended up using it because we all were like so tired by the end of the night that we ended up just leaving it. But anyway, so we wanted to get now at this point to run over to watch fireworks down by the castle. But by the time we got there, the crowd was like so much because we had every intention to get there earlier, and it was not our fault, but that's just what happens at Disney. You just try to make the most of it. So we had kind of like at the really sucky spot for fireworks. But it was still nice to see because, you know, to be honest, leading up to that trip all last summer, Jose and I would be outside. We put the TV outside, and we would like live stream the Disney, like other people, other YouTubers or vloggers there, and watching the park with better views. So I've kind of already seen it, but it was nice to see in person still. And you get emotional because it's just so pretty. It's so nice, and it was just a great ending for the night. And after that, we ended up going to Casey's for chili dogs, and that was it. That was our last park day. Last day, this is now Disney Day 8. We checked out, then we managed to get a reservation at Topolino's. Now, I have heard all about this. I knew I had to eat there because it's been so hyped up, and I was like, we have to get it. 60 days, when 60 days before your hotel reservation, you're able to make your dining reservations. I was logging in looking for it. Of course, couldn't get it. My sister luckily managed to get us 2 tables. Like, I don't know how, because they weren't available when I was looking, but she's a professional, obviously. So she got us amazing reservations. So I don't remember if this was also like around 11 or something. Just beautiful. We rode the Skyliner there, and just so cute. The hotel is just so beautiful. It's nice to like, they have like these mosaic tiles when you walk in. Over there, when you're getting off the Skyliner, you walk through like this little tunnel thing, and you can, you see I think the Tangled Rapunzel, like all the little lights, and then the other theme is Peter Pan. So it's just very cool, very pretty. The grounds are just beautiful. The characters are all like Parisian outfits, very cute. Like the breakfast was just amazing. I had the steak and polenta. Now, at the time when we went, it was like they would take your order, and you could have like more than one thing. So like, also one of the entrees was like avocado toast, and they might have had like a fish thing or something, I can't remember. Yeah, I think there was like a lox bagel or something. So basically, you could order more than one entree if you wanted, and they would just bring you one main entree, and then they would bring a smaller version of other one. But like, once you ordered, you can't like go, hey, can I have more eggs or whatever. So you're supposed to like just make one order, make it easy for the waiter or waitress, and it was just really good. I definitely have to go back. That is my favorite character dining. It's always so nice. It was really nice. And afterward, we went out to the roof deck, and we got to see like the whole view, and yeah, just so beautiful. I need to go back. It's really nice. But I would highly recommend it if you're fortunate and can get up at like the crack of dawn and be the first one to score those tickets. Yeah, definitely would. And that was it. Afterward, we left. We took the Skyliner back to check out Yacht Club, because we had never been over that way. So we just did a little loop around, and then we went back. Then we had to go to the airport and face a debacle over there at Spirit Airlines. So that was it. That was my recap. And if you stuck around for this long, hopefully you like the content. I would love for you to stick around and subscribe. I'm hoping I can start producing more content. Every little like, comment, share, anything you could do really helps out the channel. So I think that's gonna do it for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.